Zane, are you ready for the race of a lifetime?
I guess. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Part two, everybody. Here we go. So, today we'll be talking about movies 3 and 4 in the Hot Wheels Acceleracers movie series, Breaking Point and The Ultimate Race. And Breaking Point was directed by William Lau, written by Mark Edens, and produced by Ian Richter. And The Ultimate Race was directed by Andrew Duncan, written by Mark Edens again, and produced again by Ian Richter. And returning from the previous two movies are Will Anderson as Wild, Brian Drummond as Kurt, Kathleen Barr as Galorum, Andrew Francis as Vert, Kevin Oshti, I'm so sorry,
You nailed it. It's
as
fine.
Taro,
You got it.
and Michael Donovan as Dr. Peter Tesla.
So basically the whole cast.
Yeah, everyone's returning. There aren't
Yeah.
any new characters or anything like that. So, Steven, what were your general impressions of these two films compared to the first two?
Way better than the first two.
Really? You like these two
I like
collectively
these
more than the
two
first two?
collectively more than the first two.
What about them did you like more?
One, there was more story. They explained and actually settled things. Granted, 4 does leave off on a cliffhanger. But it wasn't like it stinks because they were supposed to do 5 and 6 and they didn't. But still, the cliffhanger was better than any of the other cliffhangers. Like the ending of 1, better. Ending of 2, still
Oh,
better
so
ending.
okay. I actually thought you weren't gonna like the cliffhanger that much. I thought it was gonna bother you.
Nah, it's all right.
Interesting.
It actually made me interested in the films more.
Really?
Yeah, because it was finally getting good.
Well, so quick summary of the 3 and 4. At the end of episode 2, it leaves off where Vert Wheeler has done pretty terribly in all the races so far, and so he's feeling down in the dumps, and he doesn't feel like he can help the team or anybody else, and he leaves. And let's see, what was the second race at the end of the second movie? Was it the city? Yeah, it was the metro.
Yeah,
It was the
city.
metro realm.
Yeah.
They completed that race, and
No, was it? Or was it the junk?
that was the third movie that we watched.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. And then in the third one, it picks up with him kind of contemplating his place and everything and whatnot. And he talks to his dad, whatever.
Now remember, he won Highway 35.
Yes, he won the world race.
So he's supposed to be really good.
Yeah, even though he's only like a kid.
Yeah.
And then in 3, there just more racing happens, and a new enemy possibly comes into the fray as the Silencers, which are these maybe robotic, maybe human racers that has this really cool like white and purple aesthetic. And,
Yeah, really cool. Probably the coolest of the gangs and people in the film.
And it's cool because the way the cars are made, the cars are made where there are wheels and just like a base frame, and they have like this liquid metal, like the T2 Terminator, that they put on the ground, and then it forms
good
around the car,
reference.
and it can change to whatever they want. It's really cool. And then 4, being the last one in the series, it kind of wraps up everything where something happens at the end of 3, and everyone, the Metal Maniacs and the Teku, team up to go.
They're
out and do
working
something.
together.
And they get toward, and then there's also like the final race that the Accelerators have put forward for everybody, and things happen. So
A bunch of shenanigans.
yeah, I don't want to divulge any other details, but yeah,
But yeah, both great. Way better than the first two. I know I already said that. Soundtracks are still killer.
yeah.
Still keeps the intro song and the outro song.
Acceleracers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Great.
So
Great.
how big of a margin is it between like these two and the first two? Like, how big is the difference of you liking them? Is it a lot, or is it just like a little bit?
It might have been because I was able to watch more of these ones than the first two because of schoolwork and the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely say 4 is my favorite.
Really?
Yeah, I know you said in the part 1 that that was your least favorite.
Yeah, this is my least favorite.
But honestly, it's my favorite because almost everything got settled for the most part. Everyone stopped being, trash.
Why was everyone trash to begin with?
I'm talking about like the relationships with everybody.
Oh, people actually talked and settled things and
Talked,
stuff.
yeah, and they're all working together. And I think all the racing and driving sequences were better because it wasn't without diving in. Well, I mean that's not really a spoiler if they watch 3, so it's not a full race the entire time. So there's more action still with all driving or whatnot, but a lot different. And like I think the cliffhanger was the best one out of them. Obviously they didn't ever answer the cliffhanger,
Yeah.
but it was still a better cliffhanger. So it was the only one that I watched where I was actually like,
Invested.
I was like, number 5, this one will be good.
Yeah.
3 was close. I would definitely say probably Highway 35 is good. Like I said, I haven't seen it, but it'd probably be like Highway 35 up there, and then number 1 pretty bad. 2.
Would you rank them in like the
bad.
order they go? Like 4 is your favorite, and then 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah, probably. I would say so. Yeah, definitely start from, which is weird, especially because sequels and series usually get worse as they go on. But surprisingly, this one to me has gotten better with each one, especially since like I think 4 like you get the high points of everybody's characters. Like everybody.
Well, yeah, the
finally
payoff, the
hit. Yeah.
climax.
Like, and then I don't know, was Sparky introduced in 3 or 4?
3.
Sparky, he's fantastic. He's probably my favorite character.
See, it's interesting because when I originally watched him, I hated Sparky.
Oh, I love.
I thought
Sparky.
he was so annoying.
He's so funny.
But he's grown on me, especially when we watched him today. I was like, okay, yeah, he's kind of cool. I like him.
Yeah.
He's not too bad.
He was hilarious.
Yeah. Hello.
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 But
Does he got to do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
He kind of has to. It's his name, Spark.
So then the main thing you liked about 4 is just because they resolved a lot of things? And it was
They
just
said
where
they solved a lot of things. I think the cliffhanger was better, so it put me more invested in the movie. Honestly, the racing part of 4 I thought was a whole lot better. It might be because it only focused, on like 1 or 2 things, and you actually like, oh wow, they can actually drive when nobody's constantly, trying to kill them.
Yeah.
Even though they kind of were still trying to kill them. But I mean, like, I just thought it was a whole lot better. And, like, for me, since I was, like, half watching all of them, I mean, still watching them, but, missing some things. It was basically almost like a recap because they go through all the races that they do in 4. So 4 is definitely, to me, the best one.
I'd have to say, for me, rewatching 3 and 4 today, my opinion has changed on both of them. Because originally, 3 used to be my favorite one, like hands down. And I don't know. This is kind of just like a little thing I noticed, but the third movie, Breaking Point, is the only one where Andrew Duncan wasn't involved in directing, because he co-directed the first 2 and then directed the 4th one by himself. But this is the only one where he had no involvement in the directing. And I don't know if that says anything about it. I didn't really notice anything about the third film that was particularly different from the other ones. But I think when I was thinking about it more today, I think the only reason I liked 3 the most was because when it originally aired, all these movies, I only saw The Ultimate Race once on TV. I didn't even catch all of it. And then I got 1, 2, and 3 on DVD. I never found 4. I never thought to look up online.
Yeah, we had to watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, I never thought to look it up online and buy it, So I watched 1, 2, and 3 like religiously. But I only watched 4 that one time. And I think that was probably why I didn't like it as much. And that's kind of an unfair criticism of it. But going back, there were definitely things that I didn't like about it when I originally watched it that I have reversed now. Because when I first watched it...
It's because I changed his opinion.
Yeah, thank you, Steven, for showing me the light.
You're welcome.
But I thought the fight scenes where all the racers are like fighting the robots and stuff, it was always hokey and stuff, and I thought
they were great, Zayn.
Because in my child mind, I thought Man, that's stupid. All the hilarious, not hilarious, but all the cool, wacky racing they're doing in the cars and unrealistic and on that unrealistic stuff was cool. But now that they're fighting the robots, I thought that's lame. For some reason, I thought that. I don't know why.
I mean, it's kind of lame. A guy punching a metal robot with his bare hand is.
Well, I mean, they did that.
Knocking out the robot is.
They did that in 2, though.
Yeah, that's fair. But I see what you're saying. But I honestly, that just makes it a little bit funnier.
Yeah, and I think that's why I liked 3 the most was because that was the one I left off on. But some of the specific things I enjoyed about 3 are I love the pipe realm, the first race in 3.
Oh, the junk? No, not the pipe.
No, that's the second one. The pipe one where they're like going around in circles.
Going around, that is a good
That is my favorite race that they do in the whole series. I think it was just I just enjoy them like going around in circles, like I said, and like all the different tubes and stuff, and going up and down all the little obstacles they have. And it looks really cool too with all the lights and neon stuff. It kind of looks like Tron.
Oh, it
honestly.
definitely does. Yeah.
Because I was reading something earlier today on some forum or something about Acceleracers, and I saw a lot of comments about Tron and stuff. And it didn't really hit me until I saw that and I thought about it. And I was like, there are kind of like a lot of visual, like Tron-esque elements in the films.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and also, well, no, that doesn't count. Scrap that. Never mind.
Scrap it.
I was thinking of something else. But I like 3 because it obviously, like I said in the first part, these are like primarily like children's films, and they're aimed towards kids, and then also to like sell the toys in it and whatever. But it was definitely, I think, just a little bit mature.
I guess, yeah, I could see that. I mean,
because people do die, and people like get injured and stuff like that, and then the themes and stuff are more serious, I think. Because I don't know if you want to watch Highway 35 or not, or if you ever will, but compared to Highway 35, these movies are like an adult, and that movie's like kind of like a child, because it's much more cartoony. I guess I would say Acceleracers in a weird way is more realistic than Highway 35, and I think that's one thing I liked about it when I was little.
Gotcha, more realistic.
Because I used to love. I'm not a car guy, but when I was little, I loved Hot Wheels, and I loved playing with toy cars and stuff like that. I loved the idea.
So you're a car guy.
No, I don't know anything about cars, but I loved the idea of racing in a car.
The idea behind cars, yeah.
Because I also loved I had a ton of racing video games. Also, when I was little, like Burnout and F-Zero. I mentioned those before too, but I love Burnout. That's great. That's another topic though for another time.
Another time, another day.
We need to talk about video games too.
Oh yeah, we definitely should.
But yeah, 3's good. I like the development with what happens with Marky's, or with Kurt's brother. We won't say what happens.
Yeah, Marky.
Yeah, and
AKA Wow.
Yeah, and I said my opinion on it changed for better and worse, because I still enjoy the pipe realm a lot.
Honestly, I think the junk round
you
race
really
was
did like the junk realm.
Yeah, I thought that was a way better realm.
I did like
because mostly of Monkey and Pork Chop.
Yeah,
so,
when they take Old Smoky.
Yeah, so
you love them. You love them too.
I love Pork Chop and Monkey. So when they get to the junk realm, Pork Chop and Monkey are not racing, and they see it's a junk world, and they take this big old semi truck that carries
like nitrox.
Yeah, all the way into the world just because it's a junk
Well, no,
world.
that's not why they do it. They go in there because they're like 3 sweepers that are going after everybody, and they're going in there to help them.
They mostly.
But it didn't hurt that it was also a junk realm.
Yeah, they said they were like, "That's my favorite one."
It's beautiful.
Also great. Like that's another great Sparky. Yeah, another great Sparky scene is when they're getting that vehicle ready.
Mm-hmm.
Also, number 3 introduces motorcycles.
Yes.
Which are great.
Yeah. Oh, but the one point I wanted to mention where there are some detractions from the film when I watched it this time that I noticed was so in the first 2 movies, the Teku and the Metal Maniacs, they pretty much like hate each other, typical gang rivalry type thing. But at the end of the second film, when they're in the Metro Realm, Torque saves Nolo, and then Nolo saves Torque right after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then like some other people on the team also can help other people on the Teku and Metal Maniacs, and vice versa, and they like talk a little bit more. But then at the very beginning of 3,
I mean 4.
no, at 3.
Okay.
At the very beginning of 3, when they're all in the cafeteria eating, they
Oh,
have
yeah.
all like it's like none of that happened, and they immediately go back to hating each other. Like all
Yeah.
that little bit of development they had just kind of like went out the door. Now I did understand where
Well, I thought there was one scene where Monkey was like, "Why can't we just sit together?"
I might have missed that, I've forgotten that, but I did. I still it made sense though that Wild was still pissed with like Torque and just everybody.
Yeah.
because he's just a kind of a brat. But
I mean, he did kind of get sent to jail for.
yeah, but
I
that's
mean,
not.
he-
That's yeah. The reason why is revealed later.
Yeah.
And what I liked more about 4 was I guess I appreciated everything in it more in a general sense because I haven't watched it later on, like a couple of years when I was in like middle school. I finally bought 4 on DVD, and so I haven't watched it nearly as much as the other ones, so I don't know it as well. But for what they were able to pull together, even though there were other plans, I think it still ended like pretty well, you know.
I think.
Although, and I know you said you in 4 you like the races more. I wish in the 4th one that they were able to spend a bit more time when Vert and Galorum are doing the final race.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they're going
that's
through all
right.
the realms. They went through them very, very quickly.
Well, that's
would like to
because they were speed racing and she had all the good stuff.
Well, I know, but I mean, I feel like they could have shown a bit more interaction between them when they were racing.
That's
That's just
fair.
like a little nitpick, though.
That's fair. I still think it was. I just liked that whole film. I think it wrapped all the 3 films up.
Yeah, there's
Well,
still,
4.
but there's still 2 loose ends, though.
2 loose ends. You're right. There are 2 loose ends that we can't dive into because it's spoilers, and they have probably
Well,
4
hey,
films
we could
to
just
watch.
we could talk about it in a minute, just like when we're done talking with everything. Before we do our comparison, we can just do a spoiler part real quick because I do want to talk about it.
Oh, okay. You wanted to just say, "Hey, we're about to talk
Yeah.
spoilers," and jump back in at.
Whenever.
We'll just put in the
Description.
description. Yeah, spoilers
But,
at here.
So, what didn't you like about these 2?
What I didn't like.
Cricket.
Yeah, cricket. I always got to think because I always
that's fine.
forget to think about all of this stuff when I'm waiting on you
Mm-hmm.
to get here.
Whisper.
I don't know. I just in 3, I just don't like how the main guy. I think he was acting like a little kid.
Vert?
Brett. Yeah, Vert.
Well, yeah, he's 18. He's
Yeah,
still a
I
kid.
mean, well, shave his goatee then, because it's trash.
It is pretty trash.
He's just like, man, I'm not winning at all.
I'm so terrible. He was a bit whiny,
Yeah, he was super whiny.
but he was also, to be fair, that is kind of true to his character because he was kind of like that in Highway 35 as well.
Oh.
But it was more applicable there because he was like 16
Yeah,
and he just like started driving. So
yeah, and he doesn't know how. And then, like 1 and 2, they kind of left out like some important details, like what happened to his mom. Obviously, she's dead.
I mean, I don't think that's
But
necessarily needed.
how?
Like
Oh.
not every little thing
No.
needs to be answered.
It needs to
It's
be.
not.
answered.
It's not important to
It
the
can
story.
be very important.
Well, it's not. I don't. If
We'll
it
talk
was, they would
about.
have
We're
included
going
it.
to talk about this more after when we talk about the other stuff.
Okay.
Because it could be important.
Okay.
But yeah, other than the same kind of stuff that I didn't like about 1 and 2, would be the same.
Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to add about 4. I felt the race at the very end, when the final conflict happens, felt it was a bit anticlimactic. How it was solved.
Oh, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, because that just reminded me. That's the okay. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Or in a minute. But
You want to just talk about that stuff now?
I think we're done with all of our thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're about to enter
19
spoiler territory.
Yeah. 1910.
So if you
write that
don't-
down. 1910.
Okay, so if you don't want to hear what happens, click off or watch the film,
Sorry,
or listen if you want
yeah,
to.
right. 1920.
Okay, or whatever. Okay, so
Spoiler.
Steven, I just remembered the third loose end, right? So you have Vert being captured by the Silencers,
Yes.
and the revelation that his dad is one of the Silencers,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have Kadim, we don't know what happened. He just let himself fall off the bridge and he just disappeared.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. His mom,
Vert's mom,
because maybe her
she had
death
something to do with the silencers.
And her death is so tragic. That's why his dad is working with the silencers, because he's definitely he was in a military uniform when he goes home.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you didn't know this, but like it was kind of hinted at in the first movie that he was already working with the silencers, or that he was already in the military at least.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we know his dad's in the military, but like he could be doing this for the military or something else, or like he's doing it because like something about his wife. I'm just saying, when your dad's kind of maybe possibly a villain and messing with your stuff, you kind of need to know.
I wouldn't even call the silencers villains, because
I mean, they kind of are. They tried to make the other teams, the team members, have more hatred towards each other.
No, they didn't do that.
Yeah, they did, because they were driving the main vehicles and swapping
yes, but that
them
wasn't like
making each other crash and stuff. What are you talking about?
It wasn't like a personal thing though. They were just doing this so they could run the races.
When the races disguised as other racers. Yeah.
Okay, so.
But like you know for sure though that his dad knew now that he was one of them beforehand, because he knows that he drives for Teku. Mm-hmm. So like, still kind of a piece of crap. You know?
Well, to me they aren't villains because
they're anti-heroes.
I have nothing to back this up, but I don't think that the silencers are working or are part of the military or the government at all. I feel like it's a completely separate entity. I don't know why. I just feel like they are. But
and we'll never know.
Well, to me, the silencers are more like some kind of weird enigmatic force than necessarily good or bad. Because they are taking the Acceleracers and the Wheel of Power and the circle that Vert got at the end from the Accelerator
for winning.
Acceleron.
For winning,
yes, but
even though he kind of lost technically, but I mean, like,
yes,
also.
But we have no inclination of where their loyalties lie or what their purpose is or what they're even trying to do with any of this, because I guess if I had to say, I'd say they lean more to the side of the general, like, good, because they kind of like they got the Teku and the Metal Maniacs to like kind of butt heads with each other and within their own teams and stuff. But they did help and save them like multiple times, especially
at the very end, especially.
Well, not at the very end. I mean, in episode 3, at the beginning, when they're in the pipe realm, when Shirako like fell off his motorcycle, that one silencer came up and blew up that drone. Remember?
Oh yeah.
So they helped them.
But I'm just saying we don't know for sure.
Yeah, but there's just not enough information yet to tell.
Yeah, and they'll never be.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah.
But that's another thing that what I'm saying about like Y4 I think is the best one, because after you find out that one of the silencers is his dad, it just poses all these other questions that you want answered. It makes you talk about the film more, and that's mostly why I think 4 is honestly the best film.
Yeah, and that is good, but also what your reasoning you just gave, some people would consider that the complete opposite and think that's a bad thing. But that's just personal opinion.
Yeah, but you know what they say about opinions. Opinions and attitudes are the same. And they're all like buttholes. Everybody's got one and they all stink.
Interesting.
So don't be bringing your opinions or attitudes up in this audio.
Ooh, unless you want to talk about it down in the comments, which you probably won't. But, you know. So, I'm also interested in what happens to Galorm. Because where her and Vert and that Acceleron are, I'm just going to call it the alien from now on, in that little like weird like void. It's like all white and stuff on that
picks
track.
Her up and just throws her into the void.
So the alien tells Vert like, yeah, you know, Galorm, she used all the Acceleracers to win. You didn't use any of them, so you win. And then Galorm's like, what? I won. Blah 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 blah. And then
she's a robot. Her batteries will die eventually. So
she got real butthurt.
She did.
And then
she transformed.
She revealed her true form, which is just
true form.
Which is just like a really really big drone with like some fancy headdress.
No, I'm pretty sure all of them had that. Remember?
No, I mean she had a different her head.
Oh.
Like her body and her torso and her arms and legs, yeah, but her head and the little spikes that came out of her back.
Oh yeah, that was it. Just the spikes, I feel like.
Yeah, and she had like more of a personality and a actual like voice and stuff. No, you don't think so?
What?
Oh, I thought you made
No,
the
I'm
face like
saying
you.
no. She definitely had her own personality more so than all the other ones. I'm just saying, like, I don't think she would come back. I feel like that was kind of a diss.
Well, maybe, but you never know for sure. But
I
like, yeah,
guess
like,
you're right because of what's his face coming back.
yeah, but she got upset that Vert won, so she revealed her true form and was about to like just crush him. And then the alien just goes bloop, lifts his finger, just like lifts her up with telekinesis,
Yeah.
and just throws her off the track
Which is
into
crazy.
the void.
I don't understand. I know it's Hot Wheels, so it kind of makes sense just because it's Hot Wheels. But like, why do racers of all people have the power of a
Because
god?
racing cars is amazing.
Yeah,
It gets your blood pumping.
I guess.
It's just Hot Wheels, man.
I mean that's what I assume, but like imagine if that's how like the real world worked, right? So
it was
like,
all based around racing.
yeah, like so us it would be like the greatest NASCAR drivers, but like the trick
Dale
is
Earnhardt is basically God.
yeah, but
I mean, he already is to some people, but
yeah, but like the thing is though, whenever they race for the wheel of power, the right turns. You know, like because you know you gotta swap it up, and nobody knows how to turn right. So like, how crazy would that be?
they
The
just hit a
viewership
wall.
would still be bad.
Okay.
It
But
would be so stupid.
it would be stupid. Well, I mean, you could say that about any other film where there's a contest centered around something and you achieve godlike power if you win.
First off, don't you mouth Mortal Kombat again?
I wasn't. I was just thinking of like numerous anime where that's the case.
I guess that's fair. Good points. Good points.
Yeah, but I guess we can safely assume that she's probably destroyed or whatever. But there are
Hopefully.
still, even though a lot of drones were destroyed when the Acceleracers was blown up, there are still the city where they reside. Those factories are still operational.
Oh, yeah.
They're still going to come back at some point, and I hope so badly that Hot Wheels or Mattel or whoever's in charge of this revives this and brings it back so badly. I want it so badly, Steven.
I know. Did you ever read the script for 5?
I haven't.
Okay. I guess the rest of the show will be spoiler zone. But
I mean, we're already in there.
no, I'm just saying we'll finish it off in there too.
Oh, okay.
In the comments, we'll just be like from here to there.
Gotcha.
How do you think this? If you had to speculate and decide how Hot Wheels Acceleracers would end, what do you think? If they made another movie, how do you think it would go?
Let me think for a second. I think it'd be cool if they just continued it where Tesla and the other racers got back together and like formed a new little base to search for Vert, and then Vert's like his dad explains to him like what's going on or whatever. I don't have any ideas for
evil.
I don't have any ideas for what would happen or who would be the new villain. Maybe his dad. Maybe the Silencers are actually evil. But oh no. I just saw something. The Silencers are getting all that stuff because there's an even bigger threat than the drones that we don't even know about yet.
Oh, that could be it. Yeah.
And then
okay.
And then the drones are still like in the background, but they're kind of more of like a secondary villain now that they don't have a leader.
Yeah, some D-list villain.
Yeah, they're just like jobbers, basically.
Yeah,
they're
like-
already kind of jobbers, but they're even more jobbers
Yeah.
now. And I would also like for new characters and old characters to come back. So like characters that were in Highway 35 that weren't used in the original Acceleracers to come back, and new characters to come back and race with them,
Yeah.
and have like other factions. And then that's really vague, but that's what I would start with.
I got you. Either that, yeah, I would say there's either a new villain or the Silencers are definitely the villain. If the Silencers are the villain, I would love for the main guy to turn evil.
Vert?
I think that would be real sick. Like, he's just started a race, and there's only one.
Wait, why?
Because,
But that'd be completely out of character.
Good.
Unless you can come up with a legitimate reason why he would do that.
I'm not saying.
Which I don't think there is.
Oh, his dad convinces him. That's it.
There's no way his dad can convince him of that. Because he won the world race and the Accelerons actual challenge.
Oh,
Why would he turn evil all of a sudden? Just
okay,
like
or
that?
he just leaves and goes chills with the Accelerons forever.
Oh, hey, that could be a good way of
Getting a new good racer.
a new like protagonist, or like focusing more on everybody else. Where somehow Vert escapes the door with Silencers, and then for some reason,
Oh yeah, the only option that he can go.
Yeah, the only way he
to
can
the
escape is to
Acceleracers.
go to the Accelerons, and he's just kind of there with
And
them.
yeah, he gets trapped.
And then so like he's just kind of out for a little while.
And then they find out that he's with the Accelerons, so they have another world big race.
Big, huge race.
Huge race, the hugest.
Huge quest.
Of getting Fur back in his silencers versus the new team. See, that would be good.
That would be good. See, I'm happy about this because I felt like you were pretty. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you were pretty like lukewarm on the first two movies.
Yeah, I told you. I'm telling you, the second two were much better because it actually
more, and I'm glad we're like
invested me more in the movies.
That's good.
And since 4 ended on a cliffhanger, we can talk about it more.
And there was
that's why it's the best one, and I stand by it.
Okay. There was one other thing I wanted.
Stand by to the death.
There was one other thing I really wanted to talk about, but I can't remember what it was. But oh well.
But Sparky and Monkey are definitely my favorite characters, for sure. And Porkchop. Those are the 3 best. And I know they're all comic reliefs, and all I care about are the comic relief characters. But there's a good reason for it, because they're 9 times out of 10 the best characters.
So, are there any characters that stand out to you in like a negative light that you don't like, or that you just felt kind of meh on?
The robot, kind of. I know, and I
Gorm?
say that. No, the robot that helps Tesla.
Oh, Gig.
Gig, yeah. He kind of had like that evil turn, and I was just like, oh wow,
Yeah.
no way.
And then he had the whole like emotional, I'm gonna sacrifice myself.
Yeah,
thing
and
at
then
the
it
end.
makes Tesla's voice. The only time like the voice acting was like super bad, and he's like, he stood by his programming to the end.
Yeah, he only did what he was programmed
To do.
And then generally, I liked Dr. Tesla's voice actor. I like his performance in all the movies.
Yeah, I just thought it was.
Especially when he gets like really in that mad scientist mode. He's like, Verd, what are they doing? What's happening? I gotta know. The Accelerons.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying when they were like when the whole base was exploding, he was like, he did what he was programmed to
Yeah,
do.
there are definitely some other pretty funny lines throughout the movies that I can't really think of right now.
There's
but
a
there are
bunch.
quite a few.
There's a bunch with Monkey and Porkchop.
Oh yeah, but I also just mean like awkwardly said
Yeah,
lines
yeah,
that
yeah,
aren't
yeah,
intentionally
yeah,
funny,
yeah.
but are still funny.
Definitely.
Well, do you have any last words before we get on to our comparisons?
No, I don't. Do you have any last words?
Just that I recommend this to all children and every adult. I changed my mind from last episode. I recommend these to everybody. They're so great.
As I've said, I like 3 and 4 much better than 1 and 2. But here's the thing. They're only better, and I'm only going to recommend them if you're willing to watch 1 and 2. Because if you don't, then they're going to be just as trash as 1 and 2.
Really?
Yeah, because you're
So
not
you-
going to have no clue. You're not going to have any clue of what's going on.
Well, to be fair, it also definitely helps. You could say the same thing about like not watching Highway 35 and going right into Ignition. A little, not nearly as bad.
Not nearly
just a
as
little
bad.
bit though.
Yeah. But yeah, I would, if you're willing to watch 1 and 2, I would say just go ahead and finish it and watch 3 and 4.
So would you say that even though you don't really like 1 and 2, but you like 3 and 4, that it's worth it to watch 1 and 2 to get to 3 and 4, or would you just
If you have time, I mean,
you have
that's
time?
4 hours. So if you have time, you like Hot Wheels, definitely.
Okay. So what are your comparisons then, Steve?
Oh, what do you mean? What am I? Oh, my
Foods.
comparison food. Okay, so part 1, I said my food was about hard candy you kind of get at your grandparents. It kind of changes a little bit for 3 and 4. Like, it's still hard candy that you get from your grandparents that's in the bowl, but you know how
But it's not out of date.
Yeah, but sometimes when you reach in the bowl, you see a lot of different choices, and you're like, most of these are bad. But then sometimes right at the bottom of the bowl, you reach in there and you look, and sometimes you even pick up the bowl and you look under, and you're like, oh, that's the piece. You find that piece. That's number 4 to me. And then number 3 you get, and you're like,
Is somewhere
most of
between.
this candy's pretty bad, but then like taste some of it, and then right at the end it hits you right, and you're like, ooh, that was kind of good. And then you're like, maybe I'll try one more, and then you find that 4th piece, that magical tasty one, and then you have it, and you're like, that was good. And then you're completely disappointed because there's no other good ones in the bowl since the series ends. So yeah, I would still say it's about the hard candy and the grandparents' hard candy bowl.
Interesting.
Or
Well,
candy bowl. It could be hard candy, couldn't be.
yeah,
Whatever.
and for me, I will again go with my cereal comparison. And originally, I was going into this with like my mind already made up on what I was going to say about 3 and 4, which I probably shouldn't have done because I was originally going to rate 3. Well, 1 and 2 were a tasty bowl of cereal. I was going to rate 3 like a tasty bowl of cereal plus a Pop-Tart.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, but
And-
with chocolate milk.
But and then I was gonna give 4 still a bowl of cereal, but like a plain cereal like Kix or Cheerios, and I still like those, but tasty cereal is tasty cereal for a reason.
Yeah, like Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah, and now I've changed my mind to where all of them to me are nicely, not badly frosted, but evenly tasty frosted Pop Tarts. All 4 of them.
What flavor of Pop Tarts?
Um,
Like basic, like strawberry,
Well, I'm just
and
gonna vary it up
blueberry,
and
or
give-
cinnamon.
Well, let's see. I think now all the movies are kind of like on an even level playing field with me in terms of my enjoyment of them. So I'm just going to name 4 of them. I'm going to give each of them a random Pop-Tart flavor that I really like. I will give Ignition blueberry, frosted blueberry.
Blueberry, okay, kind of basic, but I like it.
I will give the Ultimate Race hot fudge sundae.
Okay, too good of a flavor for one of these, but okay, go ahead.
I will give the Speed of Silence an unfrosted strawberry, which isn't bad. I like
Unfrosted?
unfrosted strawberry. I like unfrosted Pop-Tarts.
Okay,
And I will give
super basic.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And I was, let's see, I will give Breaking Point brown sugar and cinnamon.
Only good when toasted, but all right.
But that is my ranking for them.
It's pretty good. Doable.
Yeah. So if you're still tuned in, next time on the show, we will be discussing,
The Departed,
yes,
starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson,
and
Mark Wahlberg,
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Not the Funky Bunch, just Marky Mark.
and not as big names, but there's a couple of other people in there, I'm sure.
Are you excited for The Departed, Steven?
I am excited, Zane. I'm really excited because we don't have classes really Tuesday, so we could actually watch it and discuss more about it. And in that episode, we're going to talk about the forensic psychology surrounding some of the stuff in the film. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we'll see what happens, you know?
All right. Well, I hope that all of you listening have a glorious day, a nice
glorious
day,
weekend.
and yeah, and that you go to bed and wake up rested.
Very Western.
Yes. Goodbye, everybody. We love you.
Bye.